Good morning, everyone. It is holiday and festive season. The mood is pretty much to be on a holiday, and that's what it seems like in terms of markets as well, but the volumes have been pretty tepid right now. But let's quickly see what's going to be in focus from a global news flow perspective. China continues to remain in focus on the back of the resurgence that we've seen in terms of COVID cases. However, they've gone ahead and removed more COVID travel restrictions by issuing new passports and Hong Kong travel permits to mainland residents, as some of the tourism barriers have been removed from the 3 years of strict COVID restrictions. Moving from there on, the opening could actually fuel inflation angst. And that's what has actually kept the global bond markets on a downtick as well. Clearly, the bonds fell in trading on concerns of China's decision to relax COVID 19 curbs. And clearly, if you go to see the market volumes, however, across several countries, including the US, have been slightly tepid, taking the holidays into consideration. However, a lot of analysts are forecasting a better performance by the bond markets in 2023. And there is a concern that persistent price pressures could actually force the largest central banks into further tightening. So, how this entire gamut actually pans out is something we need to wait and watch out for. Additionally, a surprise policy shift that we also saw a week ago from the Bank of Japan actually also sent shockwaves to global markets. But there is some bit of recovery that is coming in. So let's see what that actually means for the markets. Apple, that continues to remain in focus as the shares have hit the lowest level since June 2021. And this is mainly on the back of supply concerns. Now, the stock has fallen almost 1.4%, and this was the third consecutive session of downtick with regards to where Apple goes. Apart from that, Tesla is a big one to watch out for because clearly the longest losing streak that we've seen in terms of Tesla's yesterday's session with a downtick of around 11%. And this is the longest losing streak since 2018 because there are reports suggesting that there is a plan to temporarily halt production at the China factory. And that is what is rekindling fears about demand concerns. In fact, $720 billion worth of shareholder value has been evaporated in 2022, and this is the biggest collapse in terms of contribution to S&P 500's decline in 2022 after Microsoft, Apple, as well as Amazon.com. So Tesla is going to be an interesting counter to watch out for as well in terms of what's happening from a tech perspective. Apart from that, Alameda has lent Sam Bankman-Fried around $546 million for Robinhood stake. Now, clearly, FTX founder has said that he and former executive Gary Wong borrowed more than $546 million to buy a nearly 8% stake in Robinhood Markets, according to Kate Paper. So there is that entire fight that still continues in terms of and that's an update from a cryptocurrency market. Moving on to in terms of the equity market from a global perspective, Dow. A marginal uptick of around 0.1% is what we've seen. S&P 500 though fell around 0.4%, whereas Nasdaq shed almost 1.4%, and this was mainly due to the 11% downtick that we saw in terms of Tesla. European markets, the mood and the sentiment was upbeat, so we did see an uptick and a positive closing. However, Asia Pacific is taking cues from US markets and trading almost under pressure after the losses that we've seen in overnight trade on Wall Street. Clearly, SGX Nifty as well, if you go to see, is indicating pretty much a tepid to a flat to a negative start. But whether, during the day we do see a buy on dips rally and some bit of short covering that comes in domestic markets is going to be interesting to watch out for. But clearly, 18,075 is what the level that SGX Nifty is indicating. Moving from there on, crude has been in focus as well. In fact, clearly, earlier we've spoken about that crude, that 80 to $85 per barrel is what we were watching out for. But now Brent has broken those levels of $85 per barrel, and WTI has broken levels of $80 per barrel. And this is mainly on the back of Putin going ahead and banning Russian oil exports to countries that have gone ahead and imposed a price cap. So that's something which is giving some bit of a support to crude prices, and it is trading at almost a 3 week high. Moving from there on, from an equity perspective, if you see in terms of domestic markets, yesterday's session, second consecutive session of up and uptick that we saw, and this is clearly value buying that we have been seeing pretty much in quality stocks. So the FIs have been away, but if you see in terms of the DIIs and the retail investors, they have been using this opportunity to buy on dips, with the buy on dip strategy in stocks which are available cheaper in terms of from a valuation perspective as well. Now, whether this entire upside momentum and the theory and opportunity of buy on dips will continue or not is something that we need to watch out for, and whether this Santa rally, at least which has come in for 2 days, will continue or not. Because clearly, if you have to see Nifty get to an upside, there are a lot of resistance and hurdles that Nifty needs to cross from here on and sustain above those levels as well to continue to resume that uptrend. And overall, if you go to see the kind of buoyancy that we've been seeing in the banking pack as well, and that combined with the recovery in a lot of select indexes, that's something which is giving us that encouragement as well. But clearly, there is some bit of cautiousness that is still prevailing. Buy on dips is the strategy. There is short covering that we've already seen. Whether this trend continues its upside momentum, that is going to be crucial. Now, let's quickly move on to stocks that will be in focus today. Punjab and Sindh Bank. Now, the board is going to meet on the 30th of December to consider a fundraise of around 250 crores within the next 12 months. So, watch out for that counter from the financial space. Rail Vikas Nigam has been in focus on a couple of order wins, and now they have been appointed as the implementation agency for the UTF Harbour project in Maldives for a project cost of almost 1,544 odd crores. And this is going to be a strategic project, for the government as well. So watch out for a Rail Vikas Nigam. India Pesticides as well, their subsidiary, has received an environmental clearance for setting up a manufacturing plant. And this is going to be in Uttar Pradesh across agrochemicals, intermediaries, API ingredients and intermediaries, and fine chemicals. So there could be some bit of an upside. And fertilizer stocks were buzzing with the last two trading sessions. So watch out for India Pesticides in trade today as well. Hariom Pipe Industries. Now, they have planning to acquire the operating assets of RP Metal Sections, and the unit is spread around 13.8 acres of land, and the transaction cost is around 55 odd crores. So there could be momentum picking up with regards to Hariom Pipes as well in today's session. Stocks like Balrampur Chini, Indiabulls Housing Finance, and PNB. These are three counters that will remain in F&O ban in today's session. They are the new additions coming in. So three stocks that we should be watching out for. And apart from that, other stocks that will be making news today will be Indovind Energy. Keep your eyes on that one. Moil as well, where Ajit Kumar Saxena has been appointed as the chairman and managing director of the company till 31st December 2025. So on the reappointment, there could be some bit of momentum in terms of Moil. Kaveri Seeds, the share buyback closed on the 27th of December, that is yesterday, and the company has bought back around 23.99 lakh shares at an average price of 522.4. They've managed to deploy around 125 to around 126 odd crores. That is almost 99.78% of the maximum buyback price. And they clearly said that the buyback through the open market route will be at a price not exceeding 700 crores, 700 rupees per share, I beg your pardon. Apart from that, you have BSE that remains in focus as they've got the final approval from the market regulator SEBI to introduce the social stock exchange as a separate segment on the BSE. And very lastly, you have Delta Corp as well that will remain in focus in today's session because you have the NCLT Mumbai bench which has sanctioned the scheme of amalgamation of Daman Entertainment and Daman Hospitality, and this is effective 27 December. Watch out for SP Apparels on the back of the large deal wherein Ashish Kacholia sold around 1.64 lakh shares at 307.1. And on the primary market front, you have Radiant Cash Management. The IPO has been subscribed by 0.53 times on closing day. That is only 53%. So that's going to be something which is going to be concerning as well. Does not actually, seem to garner that kind of retail investor interest as well. So that's from a primary market perspective. But overall, if you go to see end to end, Clearly, there is some bit of interest coming in from investors with the buy on dip strategy, specifically from retail and the DIIs. And whether this will continue or not will be interesting to watch out for. That's all that we have in today's session. Thanks for watching and enjoy your trading session today.